What if Sanji was on the rooftop with the other supernovas and combated Kaido and Big Mom? After covering in last week's video what would have happened if Kizaru went to Wano, I wanted to sit down and talk about what would have happened if Sanji actually met Kaido and got to fight him along with Big Mom on rooftop. Not only do I want to put some respect on Sanji's name, because I feel like a lot of people think I'm a Zoro tard and just think I think Sanji's weak, which I do not think so at all. Just because I think Zoro is stronger does not discredit Sanji's scaling in the slightest, and I think especially after we see what happens to him during the rooftop fight, yeah, we need to give Sanji some respect. And with me today I have none other than the Sanji enthusiast himself, that being Restless Gambler, who's going to help me go over Sanji's scaling. With that aside, if you guys want more One Piece versus battles, comment down below what you would like to see next. And with that aside, enjoy.
Now, before we talk about how well Sanji would do, we need to discuss how strong Ifrit Janbei Sanji is in comparison to the other rooftop fighters. A good way to compare Sanji to the others is through Zoro, as he fought alongside him and Zoro was pretty much the all-star of the first jumping on Kaido. Anyways, after recovering his bones and being able to fight again, he portrayed relativity with Sanji and combat both King and Queen. Even before this, in a much weaker state, he could intercept King. For reference, Zoro at the start of the rooftop was shown fighting relative with Killer in terms of speed and was able to react to Big Mom and help Luffy. This is before Zoro really tries anything crazy in their fight, meaning he should be relative to the one that is fighting with Sanji. We're not even acknowledging Sanji's Ifrit Janbei, which allows Sanji to go 2 levels above his base, which after a power-up was now able to perception blitz characters like Queen, which Marco was unable to do. Marco as well is the same guy who can outpace King in their scuffle, meaning Sanji would be able to do this but at a blitz level difference. With Sanji's blue flames as well, this grants him some type of durability negation, which is something you're going to need when you're going against the world's strongest creature. Aside from his new power and speed, Sanji now has a stupidly durable body and it allows him to at least endure attacks a lot better, so the possibility of Sanji maybe lasting longer because of his body can be argued. Aside from this though, another thing I want to note is Sanji's proficiency in observation haki, which is his specialty, but it's not that crazy. The best thing we get from this is him evading Katakuri's attack, but we see Future Sight being something that the two Yonkos don't really have to worry about. Sanji also has regeneration, which can maybe help him stay in the battle, but anyways, with Sanji's stats out of the way, let's talk about what would happen if he was on the rooftop with Luffy.
Now, if Sanji started off with the others in the raid, the first and most obvious change would be that they have an extra fighter. This allows the group to really focus more of their offensive on the Yonko, as someone like Sanji would honestly be the perfect support role. I can see Law using room to swap the fighters around from attacks, while Sanji would be the one using his raw speed to get anyone who may need help out of the way. Instead of Zoro being the one to save Luffy from Big Mom, I can see this being Sanji instead, leading into him maybe either Luffy or Zoro engaging with Big Mom. This would allow Sanji or the other fighter that Sanji's with to get a massive hit on Big Mom, as she'd already be too focused on one of them and trying to evade their attacks, but with someone like Law being around, the opportunity to swap and land hits is very likely. And this is especially the case if Sanji is the one distracting Big Mom, as it was implied even one slash from Zoro would have damaged either Yonko. This would ultimately lead into either Big Mom catching him off guard or Kaido intercepting, similar to what happened to Killer, which I think by this point Sanji would take a massive hit, but like what he did in the Queen fight, he would ultimately recover, and after Zoro just barely survives against Kaido and Big Mom's combined attack and also use Asura, I think at this point Sanji would then step up and he would try and get his ones against Kaido. This would allow Sanji to reach new speeds and catch Kaido by surprise, allowing him to land a devastating blow to him in his hybrid form. Although I believe this would do decent damage, especially after Zoro just cut him with Asura, but Ifrit Janbei is literally just flames burning through Kaido's insides. And these are blue flames, mind you, so they should be hotter than what at least Kaido can produce. I'm not saying Sanji can kick away full power blast breath from Kaido, but what I am saying is at the very least he's going to be doing some pretty decent damage. I honestly think in this specific scenario he would be doing more damage than the likes of Kid and Killer, because he's burning through his literal cells. And I mean, Zoro initially on the rooftop as well can already catch base Kaido lacking alongside with Killer, and Sanji should be comparable comparable to this Zoro and Killer before his power-up, which we know at the very least makes him a blitz level difference faster, as Queen originally could fight and tag Sanji, but then when he used Ifrit Janbei, he couldn't see him. However, if things like the Gamma Knife or Advanced Conqueror blows from Luffy aren't doing anything, then I'm sure that Ifrit Janbei will be just as ineffective, ultimately. However, I feel like this would be a really big moment for the character, because in the last arc, he was pretty much a prisoner of a Yonko, and now this time he's burning through these shackles and stepping up to an even stronger one. But after this big hit he throws, Kaido would just say, not bad, and just take a shot before blitzing him with a Thunder Bagua. Sanji's future sight I don't think you can prove would be fast enough to dodge a whole blitz from Kaido, but Sanji at the very least could maybe get an extra hit or two in before getting completely clumped. After this, he's probably getting sent off the roof and more than likely helping Zoro out against King and Queen like in canon, and the events would pretty much just follow through like in canon in my timeline. But for those who are wondering how well Sanji would do if he's with Law and Kid, they just win faster. Law and Kid already win in the original timeline, but with someone like Sanji and his ridiculous speed along with his new blue flames, this just simply gives Kid and Law more opportunities to damage Big Mom, as they have more effective ways of doing so after they awaken their devil fruits. Although I think initially Sanji would do really well and would start off strong, ultimately I don't think he really changes anything, and with Law and Kid getting their awakened devil fruits, he's probably not going to be the biggest contribution to the Big Mom fight. And for those who are wondering, oh, what would happen if he's with Yamato and Luffy against Kaido? He just dies. But yeah, at least he finally know that this is not what Kaido looks like.